Can you, can you hear me now? Testing. All right. Okay, we're good now. Thank you, George. Thank you, Primo. Thank you, Suzanne Bijour. That's a new name. Um, shit. So I got to start all the way over again. All right. How was going on, world? Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Play the music. Start this. Start this over again. Do this the right way. All right, let's try this again. What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36, and this is Big Games B.S., part of Den Media Group, presented by AlphaClinicOnline.com. Make sure you go to Alpha. We're available Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, other states. Guys, I'm getting my blood work done as soon as I leave this motherfucker. Like, you don't like going to the doctor, me neither. But what you can do is get your blood work done, get your panels checked, hormone levels, sugar levels, cholesterol, all these different things. There's stuff that you need to make sure that you're in line. From there, they can give you the perfect amount of advice. They can give you treatments on how to make sure you live in your life more above, not just above average, but higher than that. Get your thing. It's not just about, everybody likes to talk about the ED shit, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. That's a little embarrassing. No man wants to go in and say that my dick's not working. It's not cool. It's not machismo and all that other stuff. But what we can do is there's a lot of reasons why. It is more than just, man, I'm getting older. It could be diet, it could be environment, it could be stress levels. You might just have too much bitch in you. What happens is the way we eat, you get a little bit of estrogen. We need to get that bitch about you and get more more free testosterone flowing, things of that nature. So bigger than that, it's not just for men. Ladies, y'all might need to come in here and check stuff out too. Get your levels checked. You don't want to go and you don't the one of the worst things you can do is experience this life having having silly ass questions that could get fucking answered in quick. Now check this. We got people watching this on the Twitter. I love that you guys watch this on Twitter. I need my Twitter people to just open up the YouTube, go to Den Media Group, check us out over there as well, so we can get those numbers up. Just a suggestion. And if you want to comment, we'll answer it on that as well. Oh, I just got my white girlfriend just told me we're getting Spanish today. All right. Shout out to that with the Gator Bowl. Re-upping with the Gator Bowl. I'll be on the committee again. Shout out to everybody. Excalibur says the music is fire. I don't know what song that is, but that's all on Miles. Kudos to the chef that cooks up the show. Give my guy props. Throw a super chat in there for him so we can get a bonus. What we got? Oh, housekeeping. Tailgate of the
I was gonna say there goes Miles bonus. Shout out to Suzanne for becoming a member. Um, we'll get the echo away in a second. Echo. Okay. No.
You should be able to hear you on my phone.
All right. Anybody can? All right. Just test it. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, trying to get that fixed. Anybody type if you can hear. Oh, okay. I can hear. It's still feedback? No, it can't be. No. Oh, well, whatever. All right. What's my? Oh, anyways, going into what we were talking about. I forgot. Tailgate, family reunion tailgate's coming up. April 20th, 420. Make sure you go check out. Come check us out, guys. Tickets are limited for the spring game. Obviously, FSU is going through construction and a whole bunch of stuff, renovations to the stadium. Just come tailgate, hang out. You never know what you're going to see. What you're going to see. Make it a habit. We're going to go through this for 2 years. This spring and then next spring, and then it'll be all brand new going into 2025 season, where we hopefully will have a brand new conference that will be opening up there. So a lot of good shit going on with that. But you know, you can go click on that, Miles, while we're waiting. That's the first way up. So if you want to go check out my pinned tweet, you'll be able to see where that's at. Obviously, has a picture of the spring game graphic, but there's a link. You can go click on the link right now through the rest of the month. It's $20. 850 knows you're correct. It's actually I'm gonna be honest with you. I've always said this as a guy who's experienced, who's been through a spring game, right?
Spring games. You want to know what a spring game is? It's kindergarten graduation. It is the Easter speeches at your church. Some of you guys are going to go to the Easter speeches, and you're going to hear the kid. We're good now. All right, you're going to you're going to hear the kid that's a little that's special abled, right? That's the new term for it. Like that, couldn't read very well. If you want to know, like, think about Ricky Smiley with Little Daryl. My name Little Daryl. My name, like, that's what spring games are. It's not about, like, you want to know you're not going to see a lot of DJ Ukulele. You want to know you're not going to see a lot of the starters. What you're going to do is you're going to see a lot of the guys that you've never heard of. They're going to get some reps. The battles are going to be won in practice, and that's why you need to make sure you're listening to shows like us, because like on next Thursday, I will be at FSU's practice. I'm going to go check it out. I got to see it with my own eyes. I got to know what the guys look like. I'll go probably check out a scrimmage or two this spring because I am more intrigued with what we have going on. But the spring game is just really, it's just a great time to be alive. We will have, you'll probably be able to meet some of your favorite parents. You will be able to meet some of your probably favorite former players. And it's April and it's 420. There'll probably be some good celebrations. And we're gonna make a weekend of it. So I don't know what we're gonna do on that Friday yet. But we'll have something on that Friday. We'll obviously have something Saturday. The tailgate will start at 12. It's $20 through the month of March. Once the month of March goes on, we'll go to 40. We want to get as many people registering and signing up for the tailgate. Proceeds go towards the book bag drives and the distributions and things of that nature. Speaking of which, we did a good thing, Den Media Group family. Shout out to y'all, man, because y'all we talk about special able kids. We'll get to that. We'll go to the next one. Yeah, so in not Madison County, in Havana, Florida, they're doing the Special Olympics as we're talking right now. And I got a text from somebody. I got a text from somebody saying that our Pepsi plug fell through. We don't have any water, Gatorades, or juice for the kids. And I'm like, she sent me this, and then I was like, oh man, the Special Olympics ain't got no juice. Man, you can't have those. You can't have the special able kids with the dry mouth, man. Like, we can't have the kids. So I was like, man, you know what? What we gonna do? What is we gonna do? So I called my connect at Gatorade. I know, guys, cut the shit, man. It's for the kids, man. I don't give a fuck what they drink. They could have drank Body Armor. They could have drank. Like for me, I'd like I used to call them hand grenades, but I think they're supposed to be little barrels. But like they could have got the little barrel juices. Like, I don't give a fuck how they drink, but I want the special needs kids to have juice and liquids. They can't be out here competing and stuff without none of this. But they're having the Special Olympics. I put this out there. We raised close to a stack in a matter of a few hours. The Jits got their juice. They got tons of power. So actually, Miles, if you could go to the checks from, I think that's the check. No, that's the overnight slip. Let me read you what my Gatorade plug is a no. Like, well, actually, I have two. I didn't even hit up Coach Jost, who used to be my strength and conditioning coach. But when I hit up, I don't know if I want to say. Mandy. Mandy is her name. Mandy's dope. Shit. Mandy, I said, Mandy, I need juice for the Jits. And she was just like, all right, if you would have let me know it a little earlier, you'd have clicked on this, we'll have everything taken care of. But this is what she sent me. Now, this is some bullshit. This sounds crazier, way crazier than what it is, right? The powder is on the way. I got it overnighted. The powder should be the powder. The pack should be there first thing in the morning. And I'm like, yo, context here, man. Like phrasing. You know, it sounded like we shipping weight. But then I got a cool picture from my friend who hit me up. They know I love doing stuff with the kids. They had enough stuff, and I gave it all to them. They had enough product to be able to supply. They got enough product to be able to supply multiple events. So shout out to Mandy, IMG, and the Gatorade plug, but also shout out to those in my Den Media Group circle. As I always tell advertisers, you can look at the views. The views is up there. They were a little bit better before, but like it's the impact and what we can do with the community. Like, because can't nobody move the needle like some of you guys. And just the fact that we raised those funds was really, really meant a lot to me. And you know, we definitely did that. And now we're gonna get the people who are running that. We'll get them some we'll get them a little more than Cavassier. Give them some Kava. Yeah, so man, if Big Dave Ukulele, I know I'm saying his name wrong, we're gonna get it right because that motherfucker's like Suge Knight. He was a former our quarterback's dad, if you don't know, was former bodyguard for all the top rappers. Like, and back when rap was rap, not this mumble shit. Like when motherfuckers was dying, he was that guy. So But we're gonna have some lit tailgates this year, especially if he brings the pig. We're gonna roast the pig and shit. We're gonna get after it, man. Because we're gonna be real pineapple-y and Polynesian sauce at the tailgate. But going into this, guys, again, what a difference a year makes. We were at 17.5, I believe, or 17.50. I just like saying 17.5 or 17.20, even lower. A year ago, now we're at 5,000. Basically, we're back over 5,400. They kind of gave me, YouTube gave me some of my stuff back. We got to get this thing to 6,000 ASAPidly. Would love to get this to that. The growth that we experienced November, December, January was epic. Want to continue to push that forward. So if you're not a sub, please consider becoming a sub. Consider becoming a member. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to my all-in members. We got 3 of y'all still hanging strong. Shout out to the people who tap in with the super chats. All of those monies go toward the community events. I do know this though, and you can click on this right, the last one, Miles. I just re-upped, so I have my I have another. Well, Mentors for the Kids has their booster membership. We have 6 seats. I don't sit in those seats. For anybody who's been a subscriber, anybody, you can put this in the comments. What do we do the Wednesday before every game? If anybody realizes, you can go ahead and type in there for those who want to read the comments. For those who are new, this is what we do for the Wednesday of every game. If we get to over 500 members before the season starts and we're able to maintain that, we'll do a member drawing. We'll do a sub draw, a subscriber drawing on the Wednesdays. And if I could get this thing to 10,000 members, if we could get this thing to 10, excuse me, that's it. If we get this shit to 10,000 members, fuck it. I'm buying, like, we're doing a lot of shit. Now, even at the $3 was it? They take 70%. So it's $4, 75% of that. Oh, $3. So basically I get $3, right? 3 times 10, that's a lot of money. If I get shit $30,000 a fucking month for this shit, hell yeah, I buy more tickets. I get all y'all motherfuckers tickets. But if we get to 10,000 subs, I will give away a pair of season tickets and parking for a lucky subscriber. So there's opportunities to win. Like what I always tell people is, there's nothing wrong with listening to a bunch of other different things. Please do that. But go support the things that are supporting the stuff that you want to. Sporadics, the money that you get for that, a portion of that goes to helping pay athletes at Florida State NIL deals. You got giveaways. You got my guy George with Renegade Report. You got CJ with Dope Talk. You got Chip with Sporadics or Renegade Report. What's Chip's shit name? I forgot. Anyways, bottom line is, we're giving away fucking tickets around here. So the Wednesday before every game, somebody who wants to go to the game, we will give away a ticket. We'll do a whole bunch of other different shit. So that's that. One thing we love to do is continuations. If you know, you know. Shout out to my guy Blake. Blake is the one, Unconquered 850. Thank you. For Chip. Make sure you go subscribe to that on Facebook, but they also have a podcast that's coming up soon too. Simone Biles is in the news, and she was in the news before because she was on the Pivot podcast, and her husband Jonathan Owens, basically said, "I'm the catch." I didn't know who she was. And blah, blah, blah. And then, that made black women mad because for whatever reason, men can't say that they're the fucking catch. I don't understand the world. Both people are catches. Don't know how you're raising your sons. I got 2 fine young men, and them motherfuckers the catch. Don't give a damn what anybody says. Don't bring your nappy-headed, or I guess they could be straight-headed because at this point, I don't really give a fuck who they're with. Like, be happy. But don't bring your daughter around here and not – if your daughter comes around here, she better be like that white girl in that. Remember what we showed a couple weeks ago? Or maybe it was a week ago, where the whole family was cheering him running a 40. If she ain't like that at my son's football games, bitch, we don't need her over here. I'll give a damn what you people. You teach your daughters whatever you want to, but you keep them away from my sons. If they don't know how to cook, if they don't know how to cheer, if they don't know how to support, they don't know how to wobble, because I'm going to tell my sons, if she can't wobble, she probably don't know how to fuck. So we got to make sure that my son is happy. My sons are happy. But I say all that to say Simone Biles was on the dating app, on the athlete dating app that they have. It's a super secret athlete dating app. And the only reason I know is because I know a super secret athlete that was on that dating app. And that dude connected with Simone Biles. And that dude had a teammate that ended up marrying Simone Biles.
Oh, wow.
Simone Biles connected with him while he was dating, while she was dating that teammate. Now, he never went through with it, and I'm very disappointed in him for not going through with it. But it just so happens that guy says, I'm so excited about not having a connecting flight to go and see my husband. Ha, ha, ha. Jonathan Owens just got picked up as a free agent by the Chicago Bears. Just so happens they're teammates again.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to leave his name out.
It's there. Like, it says it on the tweet. Like, it's like, so Jonathan Owens isn't the person that she connected with. That's the person she's got a lifetime connection with now, because that's her husband. What I'm saying is he was teammates with somebody before, and now they're teammates again. And it's just like, it's like this. Now, if you make the connections, that's on you. I'm just saying Jonathan Owens got a teammate. Jonathan Owens, like all these women ain't loyal, guys. Just have fun, man. Just have fun, man. Just, she's married now. But no, it was wild. She was dating because we read the text exchange. Miles, man, I can't be with her. She dates one of my teammates. And she knew. She knew. Simone Biles knew that she was with this dude, and she connected. Like, it ain't the NFL. There's been 30,000 people in the entirety of the NFL that have ever played, going back to when they were wearing leather helmets. There are 2,000 members of the NFL currently. There are 53 people on the active roster. Yeah, it was maybe a little more, a little over 53 times 32, whatever that is. I might be off. Hell, shit, you know me, man. Times 32. My bad. I apologize. 1,700. 1,696 players in the NFL.
Is it really that hard for people to find other people? Like, do athletes have to be with other athletes, and celebrities have to be with other celebrities?
That's a great question. So if you didn't hear the question is it hard? It's hard because I was actually having this conversation with a female friend. And she's not an athlete, but she travels a lot. She's very busy. And I told her, dudes is like bitches now. It's hard to explain when you're always on the go that you might not be cheating. Like, you might just be fucking tired. And athletes and entertainers tend to flock to each other because the hectic lifestyle. And your downtime is typically like, all right, so I'll tell you the story of somebody that I know that happened to somebody. It may have been me or may not. A lot of times I say these stories to protect the innocent. But the guy, after, when you get done with practice, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. And he had kids. The best times to get him were between 2 and 6 because he was taking his kids to practice or whatever. And then he had a late workout at 8:00 from 8 to 10. Or he basically had to work from 8 to 10. When he was done, he was done. He didn't feel like talking to nobody. He didn't feel like doing shit, right? But the chick got mad because you ain't never around from 8 to 10 and blah. He said, I got my kids, dog. I don't want you seeing my kids. We just started talking. So the woman couldn't understand, but like that dude ended up dating the athlete. You know what the athlete had? Time during the middle of the day. They spent so many quality hours during the middle of the day that it was great. To quote, and I never saw the last Saw movie, but Chris Rock had a cold ass bar. You could give a woman a month full of, excuse me, he said you can give a woman a year full of Tuesdays, and all she's going to do is complain about the 2 Saturdays that you did. Because that's what people value, what they value. That's why you got to date with people who like you, be with people who like you. And as Andre said, she has a type. She has a type. She like, actually, I don't know, because it's tough, man. Like typically women like if a woman likes, damn, I might end up fucking around, give it away. I might give it away. Fuck it. Increase the. I see you, Club Shay Shay. I see why he did what he did. Shay Shay made more in that Cat Williams interview than he ever did playing in the NFL. Shay Shay had an interview with Steve Stout, one of the greatest marketing minds in our generation. Like everything that we like right now. I didn't even know Steve Stout did some of the things he did. Terry Tate, office linebacker, him. He's the one who got the G Unit Reebok deal. He got Jay-Z the Reebok deal. Like a whole bunch of hip hop shit. Steve Stout did it. Nobody's talking about the Steve Stout interview. Everybody's talking about that Cat Williams shit still. Got some cells. DBs and linemen are two different body types. That is 2 different types of men. And but you know what? But she likes football players. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm looking at this picture. As small as she is, we probably all look the same. Everybody's ginormous to her. But shout out to Simone Biles again. A lot of these stories, so that y'all know we're telling the truth. A lot of these things. Shout out to my guys at Florida State. Jeff Cupp got the football scoop, football operations director of the year. Derek Ray got director of player personnel of the year. All of that jazz. Shout out to my guys. Cupp is the guy who basically makes sure all the former players, we get access to the stuff. We get to go to practices. We get to do a lot of other different things, man. Really appreciate my guy. Before we get into the real crux of everything and why we're here, grumpy ass old men. The Oscars were on this weekend. And I have a problem with not just I don't watch things I don't like. And I don't understand people who have to complain about things that they don't like. They don't really affect them, right? Just don't watch the Oscars. You don't like a movie, don't watch a movie. Like, movie got a little bit, even though they are I'm with you. I'm starting to believe they sprinkle a little gay and everything, but it's okay. I can just fast forward those things. But we have a problem with fame and fortune and the price of fame and fortune and what it takes. And I remember one of the first guys I ever heard talk about it, and Charlamagne the God said it. He said, a lot of y'all know so much about how people became famous in the Illuminati, but you don't know how to get into it. You don't know how to stop it, and you're not telling the truth. If it was easy as basically sleeping your way to the top, a lot more people would have done it. Especially if you know nobody's really going to find out. And if you know you're going to get millions and millions of dollars. Right. I hang around a lot of white people. I hear them white jokes. White people joke all the time. And I don't joke like that. But I also don't think everything's a humiliation ritual. And Cat Williams talked about this. And so put I think it's John Cena. John Cena, by the way, who's a wrestler. John Cena, a wrestler, and wrestlers wear skivvies. Now, John wore jeans, but a lot of wrestlers but he wrestled with guys who have skivvies on. Like, that's the little boxer briefs, nylon boxer briefs. And they do, in these wrestling moves, you got to get behind people. People's junk is in your face. I don't think him walking around naked is a humiliation ritual. It's probably, and I'm going to tell you why. I have done crazier for less. Like, one, I don't look like John Cena. If I look like John Cena, I'd probably wear less clothing anyway. Certain people, I don't know if John is one of those. Certain people are comfortable with what God blessed them with. Tell you, who's really comfortable with what God blessed them with? My youngest son. Motherfucker was in the bathroom yesterday, was bathing himself on God. He was like, man, my peanuts are really long. My peanut is really long. Why is it so long? So you know what, son? Good job. God bless you, my son. That's a motherfucker who don't mind walking. He don't even know what that means, but he doesn't mind walking around. Side note, if this was a humiliation ritual, if that's what he want to do, that's what he wants to do. But lastly, this motherfucker been famous for a long time. Right. And everybody's like, oh, well, you always got to. Cat Williams was right. Spot note, Cat Williams, who made his life, made his money, sounding like a sassy salamander, knows everything that's gay that's going on in Hollywood. So, anyways, that's my guy. Shout out to the lady, female viewers. That's for you. It reminded me of a time when I was young. I was 15 years old. Florida State Developmental Research School. Guy said, I'll bet you $20 that you won't walk from the gym, which is where our locker room was, to the weight room, which is like about a 30-yard concrete strip. You won't go do that. And then do 10 push-ups. You know what I did? I went and got that fucking $20. I looked really good then. I had a flat stomach, had all that stuff. I threw that damn jock strap on and I walked my ass. I strutted my ass all the way through there. And if you know what a jock strap is, guys, go Google a jock strap. Cheeks was out. It covers your sack up, and nobody sees the they don't see the Franken beans. But my ass cheeks was all the way out there, man. And I wasn't doing this for I'm not rich. I did it because I was an overfueled, testosterone filled adolescent. And he's not, but he does wrestling. So trust me, testosterone, steroids, whole bunch of other shit is on there. John Cena is crazy.
He's funny.
Right. I think sometimes, what if people are just doing things because they want to like change shit, you know? I like that John G put suns out, buns out. I think what happens is a lot of you, if you're a heterosexual male, right? Why the fuck do you care?
Right.
I don't care who you're fucking or who you're fucking or who's fucking you, as long as they're not fucking me. That is my political belief. That is my fiscal belief. That is how I roll. And I think if more of you like lived your life that way, you would be fine.
Shit. I'm gonna be out
Like fat white men for less. We literally have a law put up by Corey Simon, a former FSU Noel great, because fat white men were running on a football field for $10,000. Because they're gonna book you, but it's not a serious enough crime. So basically what a company would do is say, I'm gonna give you this money, put my company name on your chest and your back, and you'll be able to get your bail.
Do you know any companies still perhaps,
I don't know. Now it's basically all that, like you got to pay a little bit more in the state of Florida. I wouldn't have done it for 10, but we've seen people do wilder shit. I was on the football field when Burger King first had the King come out, like the little weird thing. The King hit the field, ran on the field, took the ball from Chris Ricks, and then ran again. Now he wasn't naked, but that wasn't like. But what I'm saying is this shit happens like in everyday life.
Right. I see women wear less clothes at the gym.
Great. So women are crazy.
Woo.
Women, I just saw this video of this woman with this bike and she has some yams and I don't even understand. what she was doing, but like it definitely was doing the insinuation. It was doing what I think it was doing. But let me see that in real life, and then all of a sudden I'm the creep when you got a big black seat with a point all in between. And I'm tired of y'all women stop wearing them cheek separating damn tights. That's not for the weight room. Anyways, I don't even know where we're going. It's shit. It was this thing I had. Oh, women, so a woman can wear a swimsuit, a two-piece, right? They'll walk outside all day. Right. It covers the bra. Covers the titties. Covers the ass. We'll let you walk in on a woman in her bra and panties. Bra and panties cover way more than what these swimsuits are covering right now.
You're right.
It's just wild. Oh yeah, I did see that. That should be illegal. Somebody said that they bet there wouldn't be a streaker at the Super Bowl, and the guy bet on himself and he won, which I think that should be illegal. He shouldn't have been able to get that. That's not right. My point is stop worrying about shit. Now I'll get into this. Again, it is grumpy old white men that don't have six packs and their wife liked it.
Yeah.
But getting into this, what was the hot topic yesterday? Nick Saban went full Michael Corleone. Nick Saban turned state. Nick Saban did what all grumpy old white men say that they don't want when there's something that makes them uncomfortable. I don't want politics in sports.
They can say his daughter married a black.
Oh, well, they don't want that until they realize that they get a mutant and a paycheck. That's starting to come less and less. It's wild. Did you see the dad that like the daughter exposed her dad for the text messages for her taking a black dude to prom?
Oh no.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. I can tell you that much. Side note, Miles, baddest white woman I've seen in my life. Baddest white woman. Did I tell you about this? I didn't talk about this on Monday. Man, we got a coach that sounds like Shannon Sharp, but is built like a Greek guy. Handsome brother. Paul, like I can admit this. Coach Watt is Coach Watt looks the most well put together man I've ever seen in my life. He walks in with a suit and you're immediately mad because there's nothing you can do to look like he looks in that suit. I told him, we called him Batman because we don't know what he does, but I said you might be Iron Man. Basically, that suit, bro, I told him that was made with nanotechnology. He's like, what do you mean? I said, you know how Iron Man now, he just has to tap the watch and his Iron Man suit magically conforms to his skin and it flows. That's what this man's suit had. That's what the man's suits look like. That being said, he brought the baddest money that I have ever seen in person. And she shut the whole thing down. Now, mind you, he's got a son that plays on the team. And his son's not mixed. And that mama was there. And she got a regular dude. I'm not gonna talk about him too bad because I don't really know what he looks, but I know he don't look like she looked and what Watt looked like. But like, yo, it was wow. It was amazing. I said, yo, that's what they like out here, man. It's tough, man. Y'all better, I'm telling you, dog. And I used to say nothing more undefeated than black women in citrus colors like orange, red. Man, that girl had on some orange pants. I started to go dap them up. And we had an old white man, Coach, Coach Murph. We don't know how old Murph is, but Murph looks like granddad from The Simpsons. That's what he reminds me of. And he's over there, and she was a soldier because she took Murph away from all of us. But anyways, though, white women wilding. But I don't even know because you were talking about that. But Nick Saban went and testified with Rafael Cruz, who I absolutely hate. With the passion. Like I'm with like on guy. I hate fake tough guys. And Rafael Cruz will never be a tough guy to me because he sat there and let Trump say his wife is hideous. Like that man roasted his wife for an entire presidential debate. And that man did absolutely nothing. And he left his kids. Yeah, and then lost. But we got a bunch of audio on Nick Saban, but let's push the play button on the first one. We'll go down the list. We'll listen to this stuff, and then we'll just talk about the things that he said and what's right, what's wrong, and you guys can give your opinions. And it's yes, we're talking about name, image, and likeness. Like everybody hates this shit now.
Naturally, the reaction to Saban's comments on social media was measured. Oh, so you get to care about money and they don't. I get the point, but keep in mind that this man is the all-time winningest coach in the sport in terms of titles, and he's working. He's a professional, so that's why he gets paid all the dough. It's fantastic that players get to make money now, but every single coach in every single revenue sport, if you're paying attention, is saying the same thing. This is the only thing that any recruit is asking about now when they come on visit.
Oh, this is
and I don't believe that it's pearl clutching to wonder if maybe that's not ideal. Maybe something about the school and your development there as a human being on account.
Scott summarizes this by saying every coach is saying that all these guys are asking for money. I feel like that's a crock of shit. They're asking for money. And for those who don't know, this is what Scott said. It's fantastic that players get to make money now, but every single coach in every single revenue sport, if you're paying attention, is saying the same thing. This is the only thing that any recruit is asking about right now. I have 3 of the top recruits in the nation. They want to know if they're going to make money, but that's not the only thing that they're asking about. No, what's happening is equality feels like oppression when the world has been built around you. And he's right. Nick Saban is one of the greatest, but now Nick Saban doesn't have a built-in advantage. And yeah, I actually want that part, the one above it, because Nick said something that was so disingenuous. We can actually, let's just go. We'll break down and we'll pause, because here's what I want people to realize, and here's why he's getting critiqued the way he's getting critiqued. He's sitting there in front of a congressional roundtable, which is almost like a congressional hearing, which is basically a testimony. And they brought him as well as other experts. Now, let's look at who this is. Nick Saban and the rumors of Alabama players. It used to be when you go to Alabama, you got a Charger. If you were good, they upgraded that bitch and you got you a Hellcat. Alabama players been making money since the beginning of time. Not just Alabama, other players. We've called it the bagman. People have always talked about the bagman for years. And some of the things that Nick has said in this hearing is borderline comical because it's who it's coming from. You are not a guy. You don't get to say this because you were a part of it. You're also a guy who made $10 million. The school paid for your house, 2 houses, paid it off. You're a guy who continues to benefit off the backs of these young men, and I'm not even hating on you for that. What I'm saying is you don't get to say that the game is out of control when you're part of the reason why the game is out of control. But let's listen to Raphael and all these other cynical motherfuckers talk about why it's not okay to pay little black boys.
It actually passed legislation to address the challenges here. Why don't I start off with just posing a general question. Everyone around this table are experts in different aspects of college athletics. What do you see right now as the biggest challenges with the current Wild West? Many have said that the status quo threatens the long-term or even medium and short-term viability of college athletics. Is that true? If so, why? What are the challenges that you're facing right now? And I'll open that up to anyone who feels inspired.
I'd like to ask, you have 2 people, I think, on the front line, Mr. Byrne and my dear friend Nick Saban. But what has done, we call it student athletes. What has it done to the student part of the athlete? What's the chances of them graduating? What's the chance of them transferring their credits?
Can we push pause real quick?
Jump. What's the purpose of?
So again, as a guy who's done this before, I I thought about leaving my junior year. I had my daughter. I got her mother pregnant again. Going in that spring, going into that, my mindset was crazy. Right, it's crazy. I was in that bitch grinding like a motherfucker. I was gonna get out. And I talked to my mom. My mama had made one of the greatest points. She said, what is the whole purpose of you going to college, son? The purpose of going to college is so that you can or have a career where you can make money. And she said, you can always go back to college, but you can't always be a millionaire. So when they talk about what's the purpose of like a student athlete, the purpose of becoming a college student is to make money, is to better your situation. So like, aren't they kind of doing that by, again, and it's a farce. It's not a student. Let me not show up to a practice because, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you, I quote, hey, I have a study hall that I have to go to for this test that's important. I don't want to fail this test. Did we bring you here for school or did we bring you here for football? That is what they tell you. So like the whole student, this is, you gotta stop. It's this it's the make America great again mantra. It's cool when you think about the good parts in the rose-colored glasses, but it was bad for some people. The student athlete part is bullshit. If you took away the student part, you would still have athletes. Like, trust and believe. If you said, hey, come play football for the University of Alabama, and we're just gonna give you this money, they're gonna come play for Nick Saban. Don't give a fuck about that degree. That degree ain't worth the paper that it's printed on, unless it comes with a job that's guaranteed, which basically is what you're doing de facto with NIL. But again, what is the purpose of going to college? To make money. I pay, if I'm a regular student, I pay you to take classes to learn about stuff so that in turn one day I get paid money based upon what I learned. So if I learn that if I run very, very fast and through a motherfucker's face mask, I get paid. Period. That's it. Man, my bad. Let's listen to more of this bullshit.
Of collectives that basically are out there and not in contact with it, not coordinating with the schools, all the things that we think. I truly believe it's going to destroy the student athlete as we have known it. But on the other hand, I think there could be a balance. So I'd love to hear from Coach and from Mr. Byrne, basically on the front lines. You've gone through it.
So real quick too
how do
about
y'all
the
look at it?
collectives,
What do you
and
think?
I kind of agree. All this could have been easily made if the NCAA would just figure out a way to make them employees. But everybody, oh, you don't want to be an employee. You don't want to pay this. You don't want to pay tax. Bitch, taxes is a part of being an American. You got to learn how an adult. But the other part of this is what he's suggesting, and I want you to hear the truth behind this. What they're suggesting is that lawmakers intervene in what our country's foundational principles and what it was built upon in capitalism, not just restricting the student athlete from getting paid, but restricting me, the collective, or a business owner with who I can do business with. You mean to tell me that I, James Coleman, can go make millions of dollars, and you're going to tell me who I can and can't spend my money with? Because what it is, what name, image, and likeness is getting paid off of your name, image, and likeness. The market dictates that. If I choose that James Anthony Coleman III is worth $1 million to my company, who the fuck are you to tell me I don't get to spend my money the way that I want to when I earned it? The problem is it's something that's conducive across the board. The only people who are really afraid of the future are the people that the world was built for. And it's as you've known it. And that's really older white guys. Like, it's fearful because you're going to see a generation of people that consistently didn't have any money, maybe have more money than what you have. And that's the only time Americans are cool with giving up their inalienable rights. Is as long as it can keep somebody else down, I will give up. We see it in Georgia, illegal search and seizure. Nobody wants to be pulled over for any reason. Now, it's okay as long as it gets the illegals.
Yeah, that's
Like, I personally look at this as, I don't want you telling me, like, I'm all for less government. But it's wild that the people who say, as a Republicans say less government, less government, less government, until it affects something that can undermine or move them down a peg. That's not me. I don't want that shit. I love this shit. Let's go ahead and play, because again, that's an old white man full of shit.
Why do you think these old white men are so worried when they're gonna die before most of this change really has effect?
Because it affects the money. All these arguments were had when NFL was going to free agency. Like, these are the exact same tired ass arguments, and the NFL has never been more popular. In fact, college football with NIL transfer portal has never been more popular. That's why they keep writing these big ass checks.
it's for the new money.
It's for the new money. They want the new money. Yeah. If you can put it like that, if I can keep everybody under the status quo, if I can keep it to where, let's just say $50,000 scholarship times 85, because that's basically it. I'll put 50 times 80, 50, 1, 2, 3 times 85, 4.25 million. All right, so let's just say that's what Florida State. Let's say Florida State joins the Big Ten, and they're able to get $100 million, right? Per year. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That means I get 90. That's a 95. Let's say we pay our coaches $20 million. You mean to tell me I can get a $75 million net profit? That's the real reason behind all of this stuff. Like, and then you can it's, yeah. Anyways, but keep going. Let's keep playing. Keep playing this shit. Let's go. Nobody cares about your pockets more than an old white man. Oh, your pants. Not just your pockets. Your pants. What your dick's doing and what's going on in your pocketbook. Them the only people who care about that shit.
People be more successful in life. So you're trying to develop value-based system, just like a value-based business, that would create opportunities for young people to be more successful. So this started with personal development. It started with academic support to make sure guys graduated and prepared themselves for when they couldn't play football. And also the whole concept of branding and making sure you had an image out there that was going to be something that would be enhance your chances of being successful and create opportunities for your future, and see if you can develop a career as a football player. Now, what we've done between freedom to transfer and creating a free agency system where guys can transfer whenever they want to transfer,
which is a different problem.
The whole idea that we've created a pay for play sort of model in college athletics have created some issues in being able to actually have a program and a system that would enhance those very values that I just talked about. And how does this even impact?
So the values that he says is about creating a situation where you can have a bigger brand, where you can have success off the field. Again, this comes from Nick Saban is a phenomenal coach. But it can show you how you can be really, really great at something with a certain group of people and have a complete disconnect. Like, I know right now there are a couple kids that are going to get paid between $150,000 to $250,000 upon entering college. My mother made $25,000 a year, I believe, my senior year in high school, raising 2 kids. If I could have got $150,000, you know what that is in my family? A fucking success. That's what we call success. Now, Can you as a mentor want more from me? Yes. But what you can't do is spend my money and hinder it. And again, it's doing what it is. So what you should be doing is showing me, you know what, a big game or little game, or whatever at the time he would have been calling me. You got that little 150. I'm making 10 million. Follow me so I can show you how to make this big bread. That's what it comes down to. But the problem is, and then now when we talk about the transfer portal was not created due to NIL. Again, I always tell you guys, the first time I ever heard about the transfer portal was by coaches saying, we're going to use the transfer portal we're going to use the transfer portal to either control kids or to get them out of our program. And when they waived the APR, that's when you truly made it the Wild Wild West, because coaches were using that way crazier. And it's an easy way to change all of this. And we'll talk about all that. My guy Fatal Jedi brought up a good point. It's a really easy way to change this shit, but it will require them not being greedy. And they can have more control, but whatever. But trust me, these collectives ain't doing shit that the coaches don't want them to do.
To Title IX, relative to non-revenue sports, and how do we continue to create some kind of a model moving forward where we do improve the quality of life of the student athlete, but create some kind of a balance in terms of competitive balance, which all venues have some guidelines and rules that create some kind of competitive balance, which right now we don't have in college athletics. It's whoever wants to pay the most money, raise the most money, buy the most players is going to have the best opportunity to win. I don't think that's the spirit of college athletics. I don't think it's ever been the spirit of what we want college athletics to be. So that's my major concern, the combination of pay for play, free agency, and how that impacts development. And I can attest that I've had 2 NFL coaches tell me, and this is a football deal because they're concerned about the football part, that the players come to them less developed, with more entitlements and less resiliency to overcome adversity.
All right, push pause.
And these are concerns that they have.
So we'll just talk about that. Now, that's true. I've heard a coach say that. They are less developed. They do have more entitlements. They do have less resolve. But you know what that is? That's indicative of our culture in general. That's not indicative of NIL. That's literally the argument that all old people make about every generation behind them. Like, literally, go back, listen. This generation don't know how tough we had it. Like, yeah, it was harder, Grandpa. You had to go, like, there was 2 toilets. There was a whites only and there was a coloreds only toilet. And the coloreds only toilet didn't work half the time. I didn't have to deal with it, but that doesn't mean the world ain't hard. Like, yeah, everybody didn't have running water and electricity like 30, 40 years ago. There's a different set of problems. But what happens is a lot of these things have already been there. Like Nick Saban made a funny, like not a funny joke, but he's tweeted something. We know when we see a kid go to 3 to 4 different high schools before they come, we don't recruit them. And that motherfucker had 2 guys committed in that class that had been to 3 different high schools. Like, you got guys right now that you're heavily recruiting and entitling out of high school because they're good athletes. You're not punishing them now when you don't have, well, about to have to pay them soon, but when you don't have to pay them, you're giving them the best benefit to come to your university. And they're on their 3rd high school. They're on their 3rd 7-on-7. Like, you want to know how to nip that shit in the bud? Stop paying attention to this 7-on-7 shit. I hate it even more now. I got kids listening to people who ain't never graced an NFL practice. I got kids that are all of a sudden listening to people whose only reason that they have a relationship is that there's a fiscal benefit for them. Not listening to the guys who ain't getting nothing from them and don't want to get nothing from them, but for them to be in the best situation and get paid the most money. That's the entitlements. It's who you've been in bed with. You made this happen, Nicholas. which is wild because you made this happen. You set the tone for this. And now you got the nerve to sit and say, man, this is why I got out. This is what's wrong with it. Look, go ahead, push play. Hopefully he'll bring some solutions. I don't like just judging people. I want to, like, hopefully there's some solutions in this shit.
Their football development. Well, if that's true in their football development, is that true in other parts of their development, whether it's academics or personal development? And each time you transfer, you minimize your chances of graduating by probably about 20%. Now we have guys transferring 2 or 3 times. So some of the goals and objectives of what we've worked so hard for the last 20 years to improve graduation rate, to improve health care for players, to have mental health care for players, all the things that we work so hard to improve on, we're going to start seeing slide in the wrong direction because we've created an environment that really does not promote personal development or that is going to create success for their future.
You know, one question I have to ask. You just retired from a amazingly and historically significant coaching career. How much
when we
did
see
the
another
current
Paramount, I
chaos
want
and
to
state of the
pause
law
on that room.
contribute to
And I
your
want us
decision
to
to
just
retire now?
look at what a lack of. Actually, you could go back a little.
Well,
bit. It just had a pan
all
out. I want you guys to see why. What the conversation right here? Yeah. All right. Is that one? Is that's a black lady right there? That's a black lady wig, ain't it? Right there. Where the arrow is. That's a black lady, right?
I believe so. I believe so.
I want y'all to look at that room.
Yo.
I want you to no, I mean, and this is no knock. Like, I'm not saying that these people don't have concerns or don't care about what these young men are doing. But like, look at that room. This is why DEI is important. This is why diversity, equity, inclusion is important. I got a room full of people talking about a sport that is 75% African American. Because let's be for real. As a kid said, we're going to be anything. Let's be for real. We are not fucking talking about baseball. They don't give a shit about baseball. Kids have been going to the league out of high school and baseball for decades. They only cared about it when it became football was the person. That's the breadwinner. And football is what basically fronts and funds every other sport at a college for the most part. And basketball. And I'm not that Saban needs to be in there, deserves to be in there.
Is he the only football guy there?
Yeah, there's a guy, Darren Heitner, that was in there as well. Darren is the one who got in all the damn trouble with Florida, but he was on he's an incredibly intelligent guy. But like, there's not.
You could say it.
I mean, not one black guy. Like, not one. We could have got, like, even if it didn't make sense, we got Neil deGrasse Tyson can make sense of anything. We couldn't even get Neil deGrasse Tyson in there. I'm to believe that nobody's talking for the guys who know what the red card means with your electric bill. Nobody knows what it's like. Like the guys who literally went to college, they signed on, because what people don't realize is the first Wednesday of February is traditionally National Signing Day. There's not one guy in that room that knows what it's like to have a 15-day pay or vacate. That saw their mom crying because she had to choose between paying your spirit pack for football and maybe getting some groceries. Medical bills. Like I won't say the player's name, but I know the mom. Mom's an amazing woman. Like, while her son was in college during the name, image, and likeness era, and her son was a prominent player, she worked 3 jobs just so she can go see her baby. on a Saturday. You don't have no voices in that room for like that. You don't have any of the voices, but this is what I want you to hear. And this is why it's bothersome or worrisome, because a guy who is so connected, this is what he said. And I'm not telling him to not. Bobby Bowden is my guy. And I heard Bobby say some things that I tremendously did not agree with toward the end of his life with some of his thoughts. It doesn't make me not, I can never change the fact that he changed my life as a young black dude. But what I want to say is that this is very, very disingenuous. But I want us to listen to Senator Cruz ask Saban a very pointed question. And I want to hear what his response is about this.
Amazingly and historically significant coaching career. How much did the current chaos and state of the law contribute to your decision to retire now?
Well, all the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always was about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me,
Hold up,
we'd
hold
have
up,
all
wait
the
a minute.
recruits over on Sunday.
Wait a minute. Because the help can get paid, you can no longer develop them, and you don't know how to make them successful in life?
All the things he believed
All
in
the
are
things
gone.
you believed in, are you listening to yourself? Like, real talk, like that. Like, you literally fixed your lips to say that. And look at Raphael's face. Raphael, like, yep. Mm-hmm. That's what I be talking about all the time. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. The children are making more money than us. Go ahead, push play.
Day with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired, and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, to me, that was sort of a red alert that we really are creating a circumstance here that is not beneficial to the development of young people, which is why I always did what I did. My dad did it. I did it. Um, so, and that's the reason that I always like college athletics more than the NFL, is because you had the opportunity to develop young people. So, and I want their quality of life to be good. I think, as I said before, name, image, and likeness is a great opportunity for them to create a brand for themselves. I'm not against that at all. But to come up with some kind of a system
That you can
that
have
still
more
can help the
control.
development of young people.
That's
I
basically
think
what it
is
comes down to. I
paramount
had to get
the
out of
future.
it. My wife sold these new mothers that are struggling a crock of bullshit that I'm gonna, which is not actually, let me rephrase that. I don't believe she sold them a crock of bullshit. I believe she meant what she meant in the way that she meant it. But let's be for real. Like, you still develop players. You're still molding young men. Like, you never stop doing that. And here's why I call it bullshit. I, as a guy who gets paid to do what I do decently, but I coach. I coach on every level. I coach on the high school level, where I'll tell you what, my Duval County stipend, and they're about to pay players. And they got stuff that they're trying to make make coaches get paid more money. I get paid $1,400. It comes the week before Thanksgiving. It's actually the only thing I do with it, because I'm blessed. The only thing I do is I buy Christmas gifts with it. I've done that traditionally for years. Now, my lacrosse stipend's a lot better, but that's at a different school, and I won't get into that. But it's $1,400. When I go coach my son's I-9 flag team, it's free. I probably coach my son's 12U Pop Warner team this year. Free. Get cussed out just as equally by the parents. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're not doing all these different things. The problem is is that the kids, and I know right now, I'm coaching a bunch of kids that will make what I make next year at 18 years old. Some will make more. I have never stopped to think, and I have never gotten paid close to what Nick Saban gets paid. You can total all the years of everybody in my family probably earning money, and we won't combine to what Nick made in his last year. And I've never stopped wanting to coach. Now, what happened is you don't know how to control them. You don't have a carrot to dangle in front of them anymore. And you're too old to try to figure out how to do something different. And that's okay. But to try to use it as the NIL, it's just not factual. It comes down to this. NIL is literally controlled right now by collectives that raise money. And it's always, and you know what marketing is? Marketing is pay for play. The better you play, the more marketable you are. That's how it works. Patrick Mahomes makes more money off the field than a lot of people because he fucking wins. I can't come and say it's not fair that Gardner Minshew doesn't make as much in advertising dollars as Patrick Mahomes when they're not the fucking same player. That's just the way the world works. Winners get paid. Winners get sprinkles. Everybody else might get ice cream, but the winners get extra toppings. Now, what happens is that you just can't come in and say, this is Alabama, come here, when there's a kid that might go consider getting paid. Let's just say some of the asinine numbers that people are saying is true. I could come to you, get $400,000 and potentially go to the NFL, or I could go get $1 million from here. And what's wild is you talk about the transfer portal like you haven't taken guys from the transfer portal. You literally took Georgia Tech's best player for a year, brought him to Alabama. He gets drafted by Detroit. It's Jamar Gibbs.
Not to mention what he did by staying long enough with the coaching staff.
Right. And let's get into that. You want to know when the game really got fucked up is when coaches can leave at a blink of an eye. Like a coach can be coaching at LSU, having recently won a national championship, and decide that, you know what, I want to go to the NFL now. And just leave all the kids that he recruited and told them that his wife said, I'm going to see your son be successful. I'm going to see you be great. I'm going to treat this. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go to the NFL, get a bigger check. That could be in the NFL, leave the NFL because you don't have the control over them like you had in college, and go to the University of Alabama in the middle of the night after you said in a press conference, I'm not leaving Miami. I'm not leaving the Dolphins. That's what's real. The truth be told is, for years, we have seen these men tell these young men that I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to do this for you. Be selfless. Let me do this. I'm going to take care of you, to leave whenever the fuck they want to leave. And now that the playing field is a little bit even, oh, I can't handle it. I got to go to the NFL. You're basically leaving implied free agency to go to fucking real free agency. You just don't have anything to do with it.
Didn't you say like the Washington coach or the coach who was supposed to go to Alabama stayed long enough so the kids were locked
That
down?
was a couple of them. You left. Matter of fact, let me tell you what you did, Saban. Because I know this to be true. Your wide receiver coach leaves, doesn't call the kids that are committed to him right now. The guys, the young men who committed to play for him. Young man found out the same way that I found out on Twitter. You know how that young man found out that Nick Saban retired? The same way that everybody else found out on social media. But you had your wife tell his mama that I'm going to take care of your son. I want to make sure that he grows. I'm going to see his best interests in mind. Shit ain't adding up. And I'm not knocking you for it. What I'm saying is what you're doing right now is you're going behind and you're talking in that calm demeanor, that controlled voice, but it's not adding up to what you've actually done in real life. And I'm okay with it because it's capitalism. But the problem, what I'm not okay with, is you not being okay with the rabbit having the gun. It goes down to what everybody, like, again, the American way is I'm okay with your rights being restricted as long as it keeps you below me. And that's just not the way the game is played now. These kids ain't got to deal with that shit no more, man. They got to put up with your bullshit. And what's crazy is it's still brand new. One thing about capitalism, and this is why the school my son is, I'm thinking about putting my son in, both of them, both have civics. And I can tell 90% of Americans never took civics or they've forgotten it. And it should be something that you have to take year in and year out so you can actually know the country that you so-called love. Because you clearly don't understand the principles and the foundations of American capitalism. Because if you did, you would be like, you know what? Fuck it. And if you truly just adopted it, that, you know what? It doesn't really affect me, you'll be fine. Because you know what's going to happen? Rome will always have her gladiators. College football has never been, like I said, college football has never been more interesting than it was this year. Now, and you can go, maybe go click on some other stuff. Let's see what some other people are saying on these the tweets that I sent. I talked about that already. Actually, go click back on that. Click. He said Albert Breer puts, what I think Nick is getting at is kids go to 3 to 4 different schools, not getting developed, blah blah blah. And I'm like, but y'all are cool with them playing on multiple high schools. You're cool with them. You're recruiting them nonetheless. You're cool with them being on not getting degrees or plugged into professional networks for after football is not worth a couple $100,000. Try telling that to somebody who ain't never seen a couple $100,000, because I'll tell you straight up, that's some bullshit. Man, click on this. Who the fuck is Albert Breer? I need to check this, man. Click on that profile pic. You know what? Go. He's a senior NFL reporter, probably just making that. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here, man. Money will get you into rooms that your talent will never put you in, and vice versa.
We follow. Oh no, we don't.
Oh,
No, we don't.
it says follow RJ. Wait, no, it's followed by the sports. I don't know how the fuck we follow that.
Follow him right here. So
That's wild. It might be another the sports then.
you know what?
The damn show ain't us. Oh no, that's on you. It's on, that's Miles's page.
Oh,
So it might be.
Sure, do not follow.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe the sports then does follow him. I don't know who the fuck that guy is. Oh, that's Monday Morning Quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Again, you Monday Morning Quarterbacking this shit. But whatever, man. Like, again, that's just, again, like, oh, well, you let me put a couple $100,000 a day or a degree. Like, that's dinner with Jay. That's you choosing dinner with Jay-Z. You basically are telling the kids to take the dinner with Jay-Z. And Jay-Z tells you to take the money. Click on this. Nick say this is hilarious with Pete Nakos. I think we all know who Pete Nakos is. That's the dude who fucked up Zion Young's recruitment for Florida State. But former Alabama head coach Nick Saban, you're going to create a caste system where the rich will get richer and the poor get poorer. And eventually the fans will look at it. I really don't want to watch this game. Bro, what the fuck are you watching now?
Yeah, that's
Nick, you literally dreamed of a facility and they built it. You have indoor practice facilities. You have a football only weight room. You built a 40,000 square foot cafeteria for just football. A training table for only the football people. Like, to put that in perspective, Florida State's is like 10, it's not 10,000 square feet. That bitch is like 4,000 square feet. A piece of the Moore Athletic Center. And you're talking about the haves and the have-nots. You're saying this while you're sitting in a mansion and you're building another one that's 2 times the size. You're like Shad Khan bragging about, oh, well, that's the problem. These people don't have money because they buying Starbucks while he's building another mega yacht. You guys, again, and I gotta go back to before we talk about, there are people, there was nobody who looked like any of the people that they're trying to make policy for. If you understand America, we literally broke away from the British for no taxation without representation. You're literally making rules for people who ain't there. And what's wild is how would they get there? They have the Student Athletic Advisory Council. Every school has a SAC, and SAC has has 2 people from every sport that are represented. Like, if you don't think the Alabama football players are the smartest ones, go get somebody from fucking Harvard. There are 2 people that play football at every university that should at least be in the room. You don't even have them in the room. I'm not even suggesting giving them a microphone. They're just not even in the room. You don't care. It is, and that's what nobody's talking about. Everybody's talking about what was said. Oh, well, Nick didn't mean it this way. Nick didn't mean it that way. It's the fact that we talk about how we don't want politics in sports, but every time we go there and we beg for politics to be in sports, for shit that it don't need to be in. And then 2, the people that we're talking about, we're concerned about, aren't even there to express their concerns. You know what? You ever thought about this? Maybe the athletes don't like NIL as much as we think they do. What are the athletes' concerns about NIL? What do the athletes want from NIL? What do the athletes think that they could possibly better gain from the NIL? You're sitting here talking about shit like, I want to see character development. What if they want that? What if the 3rd string running back at the University of Alabama, who is content with just being at the University of Alabama as you over-recruit him, wants to know, how do I leverage my Alabama career, having never made a play that matters, into the workforce? You're so concerned about, like, the NFL, the top 10% of your roster, because let's be for real, it's the top 10% of the roster that's making the money, that is getting the headlines, that is offending people, not the bottom 90 they're saying this shit without even bringing up what the average fucking NIL deal is. You know, there are people on Florida State's roster right now that don't get $1,000 a month in NIL. It's $12,000 on an annual. Nah, but you're concerned about the guy that you think is making millions, but you're not doing this. And the money doesn't affect you. And the money can help these people. And I can only tell you, as a guy who comes from this shit. This guy who saw his mom cry when he didn't sign on signing day, because she had no fucking idea how I was going to go to college. Worked out. But I tell you what, I'd rather cry in a Porsche than on a fucking bike. I would have much rather got $150,000. Bullshit. Nobody taught me how to leverage my degree at Florida State. I taught myself how to do that. And nobody's still talking about, like you're saying, well, I want to do, but nobody's showing these guys how to do this. I used to tell people, well, what about the taxes? How did them bitch go show them how to fucking pay them taxes? You're so fucking concerned with the problems that are going to come with it. Go be a part of the solution and stop trying to pull it down, because it's not going anywhere. Because it's clear that there are people who want to pay them money, and that is as American as apple pie. And you got to get over yourself if you don't like that shit. Don't know what to tell you. Go to the next one, Darren Heitner. Know Darren pretty well. That's what we were just talking about with Pete. Darren says it was an honor to speak at today's NIL roundtable. One thing I didn't, I'll go back to it so I can read it. Oh, okay. One thing I didn't get to address was Coach Saban's comment that college sports is not a business. With all due respect, coaches earning millions of dollars on an annual basis, and the program spending millions of dollars on their facility proves otherwise. It stopped being amateur sports when Coach Bowden made $2.5 million. And he was the highest paid. I want you to realize that. When I left in 2005, Coach Bowden was the highest paid head coach. And that's not even 20 years ago. Mike makes 10 million. Ain't won a championship yet. We won an ACC, but ain't won a natty. And so that's what, 4 times. He's making 4 times more than the greatest coach in our program's history. Rightfully so. Market dictates the terms. But that's what people don't realize. Like the market, like literally, the market is what dictates what you're paid. These kids shouldn't be paid that much. Well, bitch, somebody thinks they should.
You know how Tom Brady took pay cuts so they could spend more on receivers or whatever they need for the team? Will we ever see the day when a coach can cut his pay in order to make his team better in the NCAA?
When they start, because that gets us to, I was going to see what other point, like, hold on to that point real quick. We'll see if there's some other things I want to get into this. I already talked about that. It's not their job. No, it's so you brought up this thing. It can be where when they bring it all in one house, they can make all of this real easy. Real easy. You got a Power 2 right now. You got a college football playoff. Men's basketball actually has a very interesting approach right now. Next year, they're doing a tournament, a preseason tournament, where each team is guaranteed $1 million to be split amongst the players. That's their payout to get the guys to come to play in this. You've got the SEC just negotiated a landmark deal. The Big Ten will, in a few years, will be negotiating an even more landmark deal. You know how you get this shit done? Pay everybody. If you don't want to have the guys be a member of, an employee of the school, make them an employee of the conference. And now you can negotiate directly with the conference. You could do, the NFL does a 51-49. NFL gets 51% of all revenues generated. The players divide 49% of it. That's how you see the salary cap. The salary cap is based upon what the previous year's numbers were, and then they do that and they distribute it amongst other teams. And the teams have to spend there's a salary cap and a salary floor.
And you're going to need a PA for the college players. Do they have one?
They already have these things in place. Like the SAC, like we literally have every week, somebody has to sign off on the amount of hours that they practice and other different things. And if there's so you already have but you would have a union. So the fuck what?
Yeah, that's good.
Just like the union's job is to negotiate these things. That's what happens when you have a successful enterprise. You more money comes in, people have to unionize, people have to do different things. But that's how you get it out of that's how you get it out of the hands of the players. Go in and tell everybody, hey, you make $100,000 when you come here. You know what's funny? It's always been like that. What's my scholarship? What's my monthly stipend? Oh, well, you get $894 here when I was at Florida State. You get $894, but we cover your meals. But this is how much you got. This is how you pay for your rent, your cell phone, all your other different things. We have the special student opportunity scholarship that'll give you this much. With your Pell, you'll get 3,100 or some shit like that with your Pell Grant. You can get this, you can get that, boom, boom, boom. You can go, and then you find out that your friend at Auburn, well, they get paid $1,200 at Auburn. They have a different housing allowance or quality of life allowance or things of that nature. those are questions that have always been asked. And if they weren't asked, that's by a parent who doesn't give a fuck. You can't consistently look at people who ain't had shit and tell them that they should be happy with shit. While you getting paid what they can only dream to get paid. And that's the audacity. It used to play this game for the right reasons. That's like me, like you used to coach the game for the right reasons.
Right. Your dad did.
Nobody ever says that. Does anybody ever try to just, we're going to take this mirror and hold it up to your face. We're going to repeat. I want you to listen to what you said. We're going to coaches used to coach this game just to be able to develop young men, to be a mentor, to help them. Now it's about the check. It's about the bag.
I wish the bags were connected, whereas the coach may be a pot or something. The coaches and the player were both fighting for the school to get better so the school can get a bigger bag, which will trickle down to them kind of equally.
Problem is it's the culture in which we made with sports, and it's not going to change. It's not even a problem. It's the problem in which they have is what's been created by the culture in which sports breeds. It's competition, advancement, progression. A coach doesn't get 5 years to be at a school. A coach gets 2 years to win or show progress toward winning, and you still could get fired in 3. A college coach says, a college coach, if you come in, there aren't, like my position coach, Billy Sexton, was at Florida State, I believe, since before I was born. And Bobby was there since before I was born too. Like, you don't see that anymore. You don't see coaching staffs that have been coaching together 20-some years. Nick, again, if anybody is the photo child, Nick changes coaching staffs every 2 fucking years. Entire staffs. It's why he's great. It's not the reason you stop. The reason you stopped is because you don't feel like you have as much control, or you don't know an innovative way in which to do what it is that you were doing. Because if anybody can continue to recruit at the level that you recruited at, win games at the level in which you won at, and had over the last 20 years and have had at least 12 different staff combinations, bro, you are like way better than what you're giving yourself credit for. And again, the way you left is what will be remembered by the guys who were in the latter days of your coaching career. I will forever remember how I love Florida State. I'll forever remember how Florida State treated Bobby Bowden on the way out. I'll never forget that, nor will I ever forgive it, per se. But Bobby didn't bitch out. Bobby was forcefully removed. Like, Nick bitched out. No, there's no way around it. It doesn't mean he's not the greatest coach. It just means he bitched out. He found an excuse and got out of the way. And I look at you because when money's involved, you have to come with something else. You have to come recruit with something of substance if you're an honorable person. Or you just do what Mike and them do. I tell people all the time, I am Mike and them probably never having a #1 high school recruiting class. And I don't fucking blame them. They're not going to sit around. You're not going to get high school recruits by having the baddest bitches on campus anymore. Because the boys got money, they can go buy the baddest bitches on campus if they want to. They can go buy the baddest adult women. You see, these cougars is which I wanted to talk about. These cougars are relentless. Dre at 39 years old got pregnant by a 22-year-old boy that she said she don't want nothing to do with. She just wants to check. Trust me, it's other hoes out there that's waiting to do the same thing that Dre did. These boys' dick gonna get wet by some women that got way more tricks than what these young girls got. So you can't do that no more. I could get my own. I could go get a Lambo with the money that I got now. I don't need your fucking Charger. You got to come with something, which is why I like what Mike and them are doing in the portal. Once you're in the portal, you've been recruited. You've had all that other bullshit. You got 24 to 72 hours to make a decision. It is just like NFL free agency. They just need to go ahead and have a legalized tampering period. Like, them motherfuckers like, hey, man, what's the check? Can you get me to the league? All right, bet. I'm in. I don't know, man. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, I'm gonna leave it with this. Progression or equality feels like oppression when the world has been built or designed for you. It's only a bad thing because certain people that you've always had control over now have a say. And that's a sad way to be. At this point, I'm going to tell you this because nobody else will tell you this. You're a fucking liar if you say you're not going to watch college football. And they know you're a fucking liar. That's why they're signing these long-ass deals. It's the same shit y'all did when Kaepernick took a knee. The same people upset about NIL are the same people who are upset about Kaepernick taking a knee. And you same motherfuckers that saying this is why kids need to go to HBCUs are the same motherfuckers that said you weren't going to watch the NFL because of how the NFL treated Kaepernick for taking the knee. And you know what? The NFL ain't never had more views than it has now. The money is greater, it's richer, it's deeper. The game is changing, the game is elevating. The only thing that's fucked up with the game is how pussified it's becoming. But as far as this other stuff, y'all can go to your room with that shit. And what you won't do, there's a whole bunch of other people. You know how many motherfuckers want to make $10 million a year? Talking about it won't. Talking about it's unsustainable. No, you know what's unsustainable? Paying every coach $10 million. Paying assistants $2.5 to $3 million. If that's sustainable, man, they can pay these jets. Like I said, if you don't believe that, man, I got oceanfront property in Iowa for you. So outside of that, man, I wanted to get into so many other things, but that means our Friday show is going to be lit. We are going to talk about Russell Wilson and why nobody wants him. We're going to talk about, I was going to talk about Drea and these hoes, but you got to watch these hoes because they're not loyal. And other different things that'll probably come up, but I'm sure more is going to come from this. Outside of that, appreciate you guys. Again, special shout out to everybody that donated for the Special Olympics. I really appreciate that. We got the tailgate coming. As soon as the tailgate gets out the way, we're going to start revamping. It's getting that time of year. School books need to be got. Food, people need to get food. We're going to have I think this will be this is my fifth one. That's crazy how time flies. Shout out to Stephen Young. Appreciate you subscribing. Let's continue. Based on that, let's continue to push that. 10,000 subs. Somebody's walking away with a pair of season tickets to an FSU game. And if you're a Jags fan, I may even think about getting people some Jags season tickets as well. We want to grow the channel, want to grow the membership. Outside of that, man, I appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me, and we will see you guys next time.